Yo. Okay, so I just thought I would go ahead on and touch this because with sexy songs for you, first week sales coming in, a lot of speculation, a lot of talk, as expected, compared to GNX. Both to artist standards considered flops, depending on what way you look at it. One was a solo, one was a collab album, but whatever. Those is crazy numbers for anybody else, but y'all know, okay? We passed that part. But one thing that gets me is when I see a lot of people saying, oh, Kendrick beat those numbers when he did this, and that with a surprise album. I have an issue with it being called a surprise album. Here's this. Okay, I get it by definition. Yes, surprise, blah, blah, blah. But it's like this. When you have a surprise party, right? You know that birthday is coming up. So, it's likely a party would be coming. It's just you don't know what kind of that. You don't know if it's officially going to happen, but it's a high possibility. It could be a party coming because their birthday coming, right? That's one example to look at this. Now, all throughout the beef, even afterwards, all we kept hearing was, yes, Kendrick has an album on the way. Yes, Kendrick's album is done. Yes, Kendrick's album will be dropping soon. Will be dropping very soon. So that's all we kept hearing if you was paying attention. Like, we can go back, look at tweets, all that. That's all we kept hearing from TDE, Top, Punch, all of them. Like, all them guys that was around Kendrick. So at that point, who was really surprised? Maybe surprised by the date that it dropped because there wasn't no announcement or none of that. Oh, it's dropping tonight. But we knew it was coming. And this the thing. You got all the momentum. You're fresh off a Kendrick. Not only are you Kendrick Lamar, but you're fresh off the going at the biggest artist in the world behind Taylor Swift. So we can say the best male artist probably. So your album was highly anticipated. Who was surprised by it? I think people use that just to try to throw it, to try to make it like, because my boy said something. Shout out to my boy Savage Mode 731. We all got a bit of a bias, a bit of a hypocrisy. I think that's like a fallback, like how they say some of the Drake fans going to use, oh, well, this wasn't his album, this was parties in case it do flop or whatever. I think that's another fallback for Kendrick to try to put salt on the wound. Oh, well, this was a surprise album, which by definition they right, but it really wasn't a surprise. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, because we all expected it. Like the build up, all that. They said no rollout, no none of that. The rollout and all that was the beef. The beef, the pop out, all that was his promotion for the album. You laid the table down, but this is Kendrick Lamar. This is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a very smart guy. And he don't even have to say too much. Like I seen a video of him before. He was saying like people can break his whole bars down better than he could. And was shaking his head. Like basically he's saying, y'all stop saying I'm saying this. I'm not saying it as layered as y'all think. And I thought that was pretty funny, pretty crazy, because it's like, man, these people be wild, like thinking of that stuff. But also, it goes to the point because it's like Kendrick knows what he be doing when he do that, but he know people gonna run with it. So it's kind of funny to him because it's like with Kendrick, this is what he do and what he's been known to do. He don't hardly ever drop albums without the attention from what? Control verse. Smoking on your top fives. Don't tell a lie about me, won't tell a lie about you. With all that Heart Part 4. With that type of stuff. Coming at Sean, coming at Drake. It's all leading up into your album. What he said, I guess April 4th to get you know what I'm saying? All that's leading up to your album. So now you're highly anticipated. And that was right before the album Damn, which was his highest selling album up to date. What he did, 500K. So this is Kendrick, what he do, and this is what he's known for. Like Drake called it out, J. Cole called it out, others. Like, this is what he do. Remember, Drake had the classic line. It's like you got to get attention to get attention. Like, so, but this is what Kendrick Lamar has been doing, and I get it. It's going to be filled with a lot of glazer comments in this because you can't speak nothing against certain people and this and that. But the point is some of us who look at it from a different perspective and we see through it. Like, bitch, how the fuck does that don't make us a glazer? How the fuck does that make us? And we got to retire that word because y'all overuse that word. And it's like, if 29 dick riders is all agreeing with one thing, right? Then that one guy like, nah, I kind of see it this way. How the fuck is that one guy a glazer? Like, that's what's so crazy. Like, it's just, we find new words on the internet and we just use it with no meaning. It's it's hilarious. But like, that's my take. Like, just because somebody is not agreeing, or they see through, or they see it a different way, or they're thinking for themselves, or got a different mind, that don't make them glazing, as y'all say. They just not agreeing, and that's okay. So that's just my whole thing. I get it by definition. It is a surprise album, but who was really surprised? Everybody expected it. They kept announcing an album was going to come. An album was going to come. So, I mean, I don't think that's like, you can call it a surprise album, of course, but I don't think that's a good argument to make. Oh, well, Kendrick did all this with a surprise album. When you're making an argument to try to put it over another one, I don't think that's really a good title to use, because we all expected it. And then when you say no promo and all, yes, he had the promo and rollouts. It was the beef. It was all that. That was what he had to do that. That was all he dropped that year. And 2024 was every verse was literally about Drake. Every verse he had was literally about Drake in 2024. So all that speculating, you got the beef, and what do people do when they usually got an album on the way? They start beef, they randomly come at people. Ain't that what they do, right? So, I mean, but that's my take. That's why I'm not with it being called a surprise album. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.